Hey, this is Pastor McMillan for a high definition relationship again, where we help you to connect the dots. We're very glad that you're here again, and we've been discussing and staying with this theme of intimacy and how intimacy is the ability to have extreme emotional closeness and the ability to move into close proximity in somebody's personal space without causing them harm or without causing damage. That's intimacy because it makes you want to move closer. So we've been keeping that theme all year, and we know that we bring forth intimacy with the correct communication, and the communication is couched in what we call love and respect. These two things are very important when it comes to understanding how to communicate and get your intimacy understood by the next person. Now, overall, what we've been dealing with this week, we've been dealing with how to keep yourself sexually pure, or we were calling it sexual sanity. How do you stay sexually insane in a society and a culture that really seems like they're borderline sexual insanity? So we looked at a few things, but one of the keys we found out was that number one, you would have to set a boundary, because our culture has no boundaries. They do what they want, when they want, and how they want. And when this begins to get in your relationship, when your relationship or your intimacy becomes encultured, and now you're trying to use what people are using on TV, or what do you see in talk shows, reality shows, books, self-help books, when you try to bring that into your relationship, usually it's based upon performance. And what can happen in a situation like that, you can actually end up in bedroom boredom. Once the performance is not there, then you slack off your interest. And you don't want to do that. You want to be able to create your own intimacy, because your spouse is somebody that's uniquely different from anybody else. And you're giving her something that other people don't get. That makes it in and of itself exclusive. And that's what you want to build on. That's what you want to be creative about. We talked about a boundary that was set up, because a boundary is a line that shows limits. Countries have boundaries, counties have boundaries, and they let you know that your resources stay within the boundaries of that country or that county or that city, so that you won't end up overspending, or abusing the money you got that you have, or the responsibility you have. So it's very important to set boundaries, but it's also important to set boundaries in relationships. And most people who don't understand boundaries, they're not into boundaries, they usually feel that boundaries are very unloving. They feel that boundaries keep you back, when in actuality, boundaries give you better self-esteem and self-worth. Boundaries let you know and let other people know you have to respect this, okay? And I'm going to protect what I have, because I'm important, because I'm valuable, and because I am a new creation of Christ. I belong to God, and God loves me. And we have to set these boundaries in order to preserve who we are. And in fact, in order to have enough of who we are to go and help somebody else. So you have to have boundaries set in order to be successful and have a rich, high definition relationship. The first one we talked about was spiritual boundaries. Boy, that was good. How you have to have a devotion life so that God can make you more sensitive, so that you can pick up on things when you're involved in relationships. You pick up when somebody's attracted to you, or you sense a small attraction toward them. You can pick up on it and begin to set a boundary and set your personal space so things won't go too much further. And the reason that's important, because we're talking about now, for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about it, setting emotional boundaries. And this is extremely important, because you get into a place with humans, watch this, humans, I want to say this for those of you that are married, humans and those that are not married, humans connect on the emotion level. That's when we really connect. We say, okay, I see how you feel. I don't want you to feel that way no more. So guess what? I'm not going to do that anymore, because it doesn't benefit me for my spouse to feel down, or to feel small, light, little, and unimportant and insignificant when I do a particular thing. So I'm going to draw back that behavior, because I'm trying to create some good intimacy in my relationship. But emotionally, it's very important to understand humans connect on the emotion level. That's how you come back together. You have empathy. I see how you feel, and so I back down from that behavior. So it's important to set these emotional boundaries so that we can be safe. Now, let me say something about emotional boundaries. Emotions, have the ability to move you from one mood to another. You can like somebody and dislike them very quickly when our emotions begin to shift and change. So it's important to set emotional boundaries so you won't go too far, so you won't be out of bounds, giving your emotions to somebody else, talking to somebody on a job of the opposite sex, and not talking with your spouse. Now, here's a caution I want to give you as we kind of sum this up, dealing with setting boundaries. It's very important for you to understand the close proximity between sexuality and spirituality. Yeah, it's very important, and because when you're dealing with spiritual things, and you can put emotional stuff in there too. When you start dealing with emotions, if you begin to share your emotions with someone on your job, it could, because humans connect at the emotion level, it could move into some type of emotional relationship. It could be emotional adultery that you begin to commit with these people, letting them know the weaknesses and struggles you have in your relationship. And when you have a man and a woman of opposite sex coming together, this here what I'm saying right here. You see, when a man is involved in copulation, or as they call it, sex, he moves forward and penetrates. A woman opens up. So when a person opens up, especially when a woman opens up emotionally, a man's natural reaction, especially if he's not a saved man, well, some men, saved men, have problems with it too, is to move forward and penetrate. And so what is happening, your emotions are out there and you're engulfing me in your emotion. And that's how people move. They're connecting on the emotion level, and they'll end up moving into a relationship, even if they don't want to. You'll find yourself connected to somebody and not know why. So you have to set these emotional boundaries and be very careful, because this can lead you somewhere that you may not want to go. Okay, and make you pay for a check that you may not want to pay for in the end. So do that. Set your emotional boundaries so you can have a high definition relationship. Connect those dots so your relationship can be rich. Hey, thank you for your time again. We appreciate your time, and now I give it back to you. God bless you. Bye bye.